Welcome to the Okanagan Valley in beautiful British Columbia. I am here at the BIGHORN Golf and Country Club in Kamloops. I'm sure you can see the beautiful scenery behind me. We are going to be doing a 4-part series of different golf courses in the Okanagan Valley, starting with BIGHORN. We're trying to get a sneak peek or seeing where the sheep are hiding. And if we do, hopefully you'll follow through the video to see if we find them. We hear they're in clusters of 20. So fingers crossed that we come across the sheep. But today, what we will be doing is talking 3 parts. We will be educating you, we'll try and inspire you, and we will be trying to empower you as well. What does that mean? In all of my videos, I try and educate the beginner golfer so you have more confidence when you come out onto the golf course. I know it's intimidating, and I know I've mentioned to you before, 1 video at a time. If you're ever confused or need help, you know to leave any questions you have in the comment section below, and I'm sure to get back to you straight away. Hi, I'm Coach Shayain. We are here in the Okanagan Valley. So today's education portion will be about golf terminology. You're out here, you're swinging the club, you might have been invited to come out by a client, or you're playing a charity golf tournament. Whatever the case is, you want to try and talk the talk. I know we all say, fake it till you make it, but if I can educate you on a few golf terminology that we use on the golf course, I feel like it'll give you more confidence to stand tall, to understand what the other person is saying. So we will do a little bit of this versus that. So that'll be your education portion. I'm trying to inspire you to learn the game, to come out, to try to come out here and play as much as you can. And hopefully the beautiful scenery and the views will help inspire you to come out and try the game. And now the empower portion, I have 4 unbelievable women that I have interviewed with all kinds of backgrounds that will be telling us their story, how they got into the game. Some of them might be showing us a few warm-ups of what we should be doing before we come out on the first tee box. I know all of you want to come last minute, but no, we will be doing a warm-up as well so we can stretch and have some mobility before we hit the ball so we're not sore the next day. So that'll be our empower portion. So all 4 of the videos will have the educate, inspire, and empower, and I hope you enjoy it. Every golf course has a clubhouse and a pro shop. A clubhouse is where usually what they call where you go after the 19th hole, which is where you go and you eat. Because you know in golf you only have 18 holes. So the 19th hole is where the clubhouse is. Usually has a restaurant, somewhere for you to sit down, socialize with your clients if you've taken them out. If you're networking, if you're just having fun with friends, that's where you would go into the clubhouse, which you can see behind me. We also have what we call the pro shop. The pro shop is where you would pay for your round of golf, where you might meet the person that you are coming to the golf course with. You have to always check in at the pro shop to let the people know inside that you are here for your round of golf, as well as if you've forgotten a water bottle, if you need some water or snacks, if you've forgotten tees or a golf ball, any of the little knickknacks you need for when you're out to play golf, you will find at the pro shop. It's a great place. Also, everyone's extremely nice and super welcoming. So if you have any questions, you're scared, you're intimidated, go and speak to them. They are very, very nice people and they'll answer any of your questions. They are aware that golf is scary to some or it's intimidating, so they're always willing to answer any question that you have. So that is your safe space. Go in there and ask them where the restroom is, anything, where you want to go eat, where you're supposed to meet the person, where is the first tee box, where is the practice green or the chipping green or the driving range. The pro shop is your best bet. If whoever you're playing with tells you to meet you at the putting green, the practice putting green, you should, and if you don't know where that is, you always ask the people inside the pro shop. But you might be able to find it. Sometimes it's by the first tee box. They have the practice putting green. And sometimes it's right outside the pro shop. So the best thing to do is to ask them, but it's very, very common for your client or a business partner or whoever you're going out to play golf with to tell you, come early and I'll meet you at the putting green or the practice green or the putting practice area. All different words to say the exact same thing. There is also sometimes a chipping area as well. So some golf courses have their practice putting green different than their practice chipping green. It just depends on the golf course. If there's a specific sign that says no chipping, then you know that they probably have a separate area for you to go and practice your chipping. So people come here before the round of golf just to get their practice strokes in, to get warmed up before they head out onto the golf course. Some even come back after the round of golf because maybe their putting wasn't very good out there and they'll start practicing here. So if a client tells you to meet you at the practice green, make sure you grab at least 2 balls with you and your putter when you are coming down here to meet them, because they'll probably be putting here and you can putt with them. You can leave your bag up top or in your golf cart. Just come with 2 balls and 1 putter. So when you play golf tournaments or with some friends, off the first tee box, what we call is the breakfast mulligan. A mulligan is when you get an extra shot to play, but it doesn't count as part of your stroke. So for example, I'm on the first tee box and no one's warmed up, and we as a group decide that you get 2 off the first tee box. You get a breakfast mulligan. So that only happens when you're playing for fun with your friends or clients. You call it a breakfast mulligan now. That does not mean you get to do that off of every single hole. It's usually only off the first tee box. That's this part. That part is, there is exceptions to this rule. When you are playing in charity golf tournaments, what happens is you can purchase a mulligan. So obviously your money, your donation, whatever the mulligan price, the donation goes to the charity of choice that you are playing for. And people buy a few mulligans. Now, those mulligans you do not have to only use on the first tee box. You can use that on the putting green, you can use it anywhere. Essentially, it's an extra shot you get to use when your ball's gone out of bounds or in the hazard. So, breakfast mulligan on the first tee box only with your friends or sometimes in charity tournaments, and then hitting 2 balls off of every tee box, that's not a thing and you're not allowed doing that. We're here at Bighorn Golf and Country Club. We're on hole number 10. Let's talk about the colors on the tee boxes versus the colors on the flags that are on the green. This versus that. What do we have? 10th tee box, it has a beautiful map of what this specific hole looks like, and it has the different colors right here. These colors are associated with the color that you will be playing on the tee box. So for example, in most golf courses, the red tee box is the closest to the hole, and the black is usually furthest from the hole. So blacks is what they also call tips, and what the professional play for, or if you have a very, very low handicap, they usually play from the back of the tips, which is back of the tee box, which is the tips. They say, or most women play from the red, most, not all, and it is also not only for women. Juniors play from it, anyone can play from it. So I try to refrain to say, oh, that's the women's tee box. No, if you're a beginner golfer, it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man, you play from it, and anyone can play from it. It's just a shorter distance. If you want a quick, fast round and you don't want to play all the way from the back, you play from the reds. So let's stay away from calling it the women's tee box. Okay, note to self, to everybody. So these are the colors. They're also the exact same thing in your scorecard. It'll tell you from the red or the black what the yardage is. So you can see from the back, it is 630 yards to the hole. It is a par 5, so you should get your ball in 5 shots. That is the goal of ours. It doesn't matter if you're playing from the 630 yard or from the 470 yard, which is the red. So it does not matter where you're playing from, you want to get the ball in 5 shots. So right here, actually, right behind me, you can follow me and you will see that we are on the tee box where it is white. And in front of us, with the unbelievable view, you will see the red tee box. So that is the closest tee box to the hole. So that is what the colors on the tee box mean. Now, that is this. Versus that, the color on the flag, let's go up to the hole so I can show you what the flag stick colors mean. So see you in a bit. So this is the part where I did the color of the flag stick. What does that mean? In most golf courses, you will find red, a white or yellow, as you see behind me, and blue. Every course has different colors, but those are the standard colors usually. So the red, it means that the flag is the closest to the front of the green. White or yellow, which is behind me, means that the flag is in the middle of the green. And blue will show you that the flag will be in the back of the green. So when you're out on the fairway all the way in the middle and you don't know where are you trying to go, in the middle, in the front of the green, or the back, you look at the flag and you look at the color. So if you follow me, we'll go to the yellow flag stick and you'll see that it's in the middle, and I'll walk you all the way to the front to show you the difference. So follow me really quick. And if you see this, if you look at this flag stick, yellow flagpole, which we're not allowed to touch due to COVID. If you look behind you, you will see all the way in the back, you would have found a blue flag stick. If you come all the way forward with me, this green is quite big. So if it was a red flag stick, we would have found it all the way up here. But if we turn around from here, you can see, if we turn around, you can see what the middle looks like. So that would be the middle, and then to the left would be the blue, which would be the back. And that is the color of the flag stick. So you can see behind me the blue flag. Remember I told you that's going to be in the back of the green in most golf courses. So we're going to show you a quick view of where the front of the green is so you get perspective. So that's the front. That would have been red. The middle over here is yellow. And in the back over here, right behind me, is the blue. So you can see how far back it is. If you're hitting from the tee box in a par 3, if you see a blue flag, you know you need to maybe get an extra club to get back to the part of the green. As you can see behind me, the flag is red. So we know that that means the flag is in the forward part of the green. Let's talk about the green versus the fringe. What does that mean? So the green is the smallest piece of grass you will find on the golf course. It is where most of us are trying to putt in 2 putts to get it in. It is the hardest part that the golf course is working on to keep it nice and fresh and fast for all of us to be on. That's why we're constantly fixing divots and pitch marks to make it smooth. It is also where we use our putter. The green is where you use your putter. It's also where the flag is and the hole. Okay, so that is the green. When anyone says, oh, you're on the green, that means you've made it onto the part where you're putting and you hopefully are close to the hole. They might say, oh, you just missed the green and you're on the fringe. What does that mean? So the smallest piece of grass is the green. The next level up is what we call the fringe. So if you come down here and take a look, you will see that this part of the grass is a little bit thicker than the green. Look at how fine and thin cut the grass on the green is. So the fringe is the next bit that comes up right beside the green, and then we have the rough, which is the thicker stuff, which we usually don't want to be in. So green, the fringe, and the rough. We will now go into the fairway, and I'll explain what the fairway is and what the fairway rough looks like. It's a lot thicker than the rough that's by the green. So let's go to that. That wasn't the best drive that I've hit, but I'm not complaining because I'm in the fairway. What is the fairway? The fairway is the middle portion of the hole. So we were at the tee box, I hit the ball, we're in the middle portion. Now the goal is to get onto the green where the flag is. So the fairway has the thin grass, which you can see, which is really nice and soft over here, okay? This is the fairway. If you look to my left, the grass starts to get much thicker, which is the rough. So let's follow me. Let's make a quick walk to the rough. And it depends on the golf course, it depends where you are. Some golf courses, their rough isn't as thick, but this one is not bad actually. This rough is not bad. You can easily get out of this, but if you go up a little more and look at that, that is when it becomes very difficult to get out of. But either way, it happens to all of us. So the fairway is the middle portion where you're trying to get onto the green where the flag is. The grass is thin, and then the rough is when the grass gets thicker and thicker and thicker. So there we are. So funny, I explained what the fairway was to you, and now I am in the rough, and this is thick rough. Hole 14, come check out how long this grass is. So this is called being in the rough. My ball is kind of buried in there, and we will try and go down there where the yellow flag is. So we're on a very high elevation on this hole. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Let's quickly talk about some of the terminology people will use towards you, saying what happened when you hit the ball. Okay, so if you hit the top half of the ball, top half, you hit it thin. So they're not talking about your waist size, because they're going to say, oh, you hit it fat, you hit it thin. So not your waist size, about the ball. So hitting it thin, top half. When you hit it fat, that means you hit the ground first, took a bunch of grass out, and then you hit the ball. So you hit it fat, you hit the ground. I'll show you what that looks like. I've done that a few times myself. The last one is topping the ball. That literally means you hit the top of your ball. So you have your club and you hit the top of the ball with your club, and the ball will probably bounce right in front of you. I'll try to demonstrate all three of them because I've done all three before, as most people have in golf. So fat, you're scooping it behind, you're hitting the ground. Hitting it thin is when you hit the top half of the ball, and topping is when you hit literally the top of the ball. So that is a terminology when it comes to the ball. Two very common ball flights for beginner golfers, but for everyone really, but mostly for beginner golfer, is what they call a slice, and another one is called a hook. Let's think of Peter Pan and let's think of Captain Hook, right? He had a little hook. So I'm going to turn around, but if I show you a hook and make it flat like this, you can see that it curves to the left. So actually in golf, ball flight, and they call it a hook, is when your ball decides to go really far to the left. So that is a hook. Then we have what we call a slice, and your ball decides to go straight and then to the right, and it curves all the way to the right. So that's a slice. So hook, you can remember from Captain Hook, and the opposite direction is a slice. Welcome to our first guest at this Okanagan Valley journey of mine, and it's Canada Day. Don't mind the red and white. Yeah. And it's raining, so we have jackets, but you know, that's fine. Very special guest, Kathy Gook. If Kathy will be telling us her journey throughout golf, and also her journey in the LPGA Professionals, which is something that I'm part of as well. And the Ladies' Day that she has here at BIGHORN. We're gonna get started. Hopefully you'll be entertained by our discussion. And then later on, we'll teach you something as well on the golf course, and we'll highlight and showcase Bighorn. What got you into golf?
Wow. I've probably been in the industry now close to 27, 28 years. And it was my parents who, growing up in Quesnel, they loved to go out and golf. And I would maybe be interested as a young child, maybe not. Went through other sports, but then came back around to golf at the age of 23, and I've been hooked ever since.
So would you consider 23 to be a little later in, I guess, life of starting to learn? Because now we see kids that are like 3 and 4 that are coming out here.
Yeah, I sort of took the other path of playing multiple sports and
Wonderful.
Not being solo, you know, just on one sport. I played a lot of different sports, and then when I was introduced to golf at a later year, I was able to, actually I was very fortunate and learned it and got pretty good at it, and was able to go play in amateur tournaments and professional tournaments, and played Europe and the Asian tours.
Amazing.
And went through the LPGA qualifying school 3 years in a row and learned lots there, and then realized my passion has always been teaching. I love seeing new golfers out here, new women, new girls, any new golfers. So if we can keep growing the game in 5 years, if we can keep that numbers up, that's a great success.
Any tidbits or things you'd like to say out there?
Find your passions, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Find your passion, what it is that makes you jump out of bed every morning and just follow your dreams.
I would like to thank Kathy Gook and Bighorn Golf and Country Club for hosting us today. We really do appreciate it. Your golf course is absolutely stunning, and everyone that's watching, if you have the chance, definitely come and check it out here in Kamloops, British Columbia. I hope today in the education portion about talking the talk, you can talk a little bit more about golf, hitting it down the fairway, hitting it onto the green, what color the tee box is and what you feel comfortable playing with, as well as what color the flags are. If it's in the back of the green, is it in the front of the green? Lots of good education on this versus that. Make sure to tune in every Thursday. As you're aware, there's 3 more amazing episodes on the Okanagan Valley Trail of my exploration of golf courses. So make sure to tune in on Thursdays for those 3 fabulous episodes. And as always, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't, make sure to click the button and the like button so I can make a lot more videos like this. In the comments below, ask away with any other questions that you have or suggestions of other videos that you would like me to do. See you next Thursday.